So the national sports media is back to hating the Buffalo Bills yet again. But before we get to that, let's get to that intro.
This is PZ Music.
Welcome to the Mafia Sports Report. I am Tommy. Please like, subscribe, hit that notification bell because I always forget to tell you. What up, Bills Mafia? Man, oh man, I am hearing the chirping from the national sports media on how bad the Buffalo Bills are now, that the Buffalo Bills will not win the AFC East. It's the Dolphins and it's the Jets that's going to win. And it's stuff is brewing in Buffalo with Stephon Diggs, and he's not happy with Josh Allen. They hate each other. It got to be doing this. Yeah, that's me. Like every time I hear, like, what? Where is this coming from? Like, really? So the Buffalo Bills now have fallen off the cliff. And we are no longer the kings of the AFC East, and the Jets have now, surpassed us because they got Aaron Rodgers. The Dolphins have surpassed us because they got Jalen Ramsey. It's funny. It is funny to me because this happens every single season with the Buffalo Bills. Let's be real. Now, last year was a little different. Yes, we were predicted to go to the Super Bowl. But I will say, watch that season, how that season went. People are writing us off midway through. Go back to the 2021 season. A lot of national sports media was picking the Dolphins then to take over the AFC East, and that did not happen. 2020, same thing. We weren't supposed to win the AFC East in that year either. So once again, man, listen, I'll be honest with you. I don't want the national sports media to hype us up like they did last year, because we were a little hyped up. I'll admit that. Coming off a great game against KC in the divisional game. We all know how that went, and we had a lot of high expectations after signing Von Miller in that offseason. So I get it, and it's all good. We can go into this season as underdogs, I guess. But this is funny to me, so I'm going to play this real quick to you guys. And by the way, I love Colin Cowherd. I do. I'm a fan of Colin Cowherd, and he's not always right, but he... I'll give him a little bit of credit. He's not as bad as the other ones, and sometimes he does speak some truth. However, some of his takes are a little outrageous. So I'm going to play this one here for you.
Over the course of a year, I make my predictions. So I've done the, I do pre-draft, post-draft. So we are post-coaches. Here is my woe.
Here we go.
Miami wins it. Buffalo Jets, Patriots. This whole Stephon Diggs cancel minicamp thing is a bigger story than people are letting on. That is weird. Secondly,
Vic
Fangio's defense, the people I trust in the league say he is the best acquisition Miami made, not Jalen Ramsey. He said, watch that defense. It's getting copied all over the league. Also, I get an offensive coach, Mike McDaniel, against the defensive coach, and I watched McDaniel outcoach him 3 times last year, and I think Miami's better, and I'm not sure Buffalo is. So I think Miami wins the division. Buffalo's a playoff team. Jets are good. They will vie to the end for a playoff team. They'll be 9-10 win team. But right now, this morning, don't have them in. Patriots 4. AFC.
Okay, so listen, guys, check this out, man. It's funny to me. It is funny to me because listen, what do these teams have? What do they do to jump Buffalo in the division and take that AFC East crown. So you got, let's start with the Dolphins, right? Who he's picking. You got a quarterback in Tua, who, by the way, is not a bad quarterback when healthy. And I'm going to say that again, when healthy, which is something that he has not been dating back since high school, right? Tua has this track history of not being available for a full season of football, no matter what level of football he played, high school, college, NFL. And it's gotten worse as far as concussions go in the NFL. And so much that he thought about retiring at the end of the 2022 season. He decided to come back and play for the Miami Dolphins. And I got to say, too, with the Miami Dolphins, listen, they've been trying to get another quarterback in place over Tua since Tua has arrived. That shows you the confidence or the lack of confidence they have in Tua. And listen, I don't think he's a bad quarterback, but can he stay healthy a full season? I'm going to go and say on record and say no, because the history has proven that he can't, right? So if you don't have your starting quarterback in there and you're playing musical chairs at quarterback, because they're going to be, I'm going to tell you, and I don't wish injury upon anyone, but it's bound to happen with Tua, because that's just his track history. And then you want to go to the additions they have. And listen, I got to say, they have a good team. I'm not dissing the Miami Dolphins. I think the Miami Dolphins have one of the fastest teams in the NFL, right? You got two of the best receivers in the NFL as well. They're up there, right? Tyreek Hill, probably the best receiver in the league, or up there, top 5. You got Waddle, who's probably a top 10, right, receiver. Dynamic duo, no doubt about it. Then you bring in Fangio, who's a really good defensive coordinator. That's good. You guys you traded for Jalen Ramsey. Solid pickup. But let's be real here. Jalen Ramsey is getting a little bit older as well. He's not what he once was. And if you want to go back last year, Stephon Diggs had his way with Jalen Ramsey. So Jalen Ramsey is not this big factor that's going to take them to a Super Bowl or, dethrone the Buffalo Bills in the AFC East. They've gotten better, no doubt about it. Now let's go to the Jets side of the ball, right? The Jets still have a very young team with a young head coach that's still learning, right? They got a lot of good young talent on the defense. They do. Love Sauce Gardner, right? Love Williams, right? Solid players. But all these guys are still growing in their position, right? Then you went out and got Aaron Rodgers, who, by the way, didn't really have a good year last year, and he brung over a lot of his Packer players to the Jets, right? A lot of veterans, right? Cobb, then you got Lazard, right? Now, listen, they got Wilson as a receiver there. He's a really good receiver. He's going to be in this league. But Aaron Rodgers is not what Aaron Rodgers used to be. Now, is he better than Zach Wilson? Sure. No doubt about it. He's a Hall of Fame quarterback, but he's having calf issues already, which is, by the way, he's had calf issues in the past. He's already getting calf issues now and in the offseason when they had their mini camp. Will he also be a guy that can be relied on for the full season of football at his age? I'm not sure. Also, you guys know how Aaron Rodgers is when it comes to playing with a young team. They have a bunch of young receivers besides Randall Cobb, obviously, who's a veteran. He brung him over for a reason. But you also got a young head coach, and you're also in New York now, right? Listen, NFL's a long season. Things don't go perfect all the time, right? You're going to have some bad moments. You're going to hit some speed bumps, right? How is Aaron Rodgers going to respond to the media? How is he going to respond to his head coach? Aaron Rodgers has been known to throw his head coaches under the bus. He's been known to be very impatient with younger receivers. It's going to be very interesting to see how this Jets team responds to adversity, because they're going to have at some point in the season. So right now, I don't think they are complete yet, right? And I don't know if Aaron Rodgers is so much the answer. Zach Wilson's still there. He's your second string quarterback. If Aaron Rodgers goes down, then you gotta go back to Zach Wilson. How will that work out? there's a lot of questions really on that offense going into this season. Now their defense, I think their defense is a good defense, and they potentially could be a top 5 defense in this league. So that, yes, I will give the Jets credit. They are building that defense the right way. They're signing the right guys on that team. But can they put it all together? This is the New York Jets we're talking about. I'm sorry, the New Jersey Jets. This is the New Jersey Jets we're talking about, right? Who year after year show promise but never deliver, right? And that goes the same for the Dolphins, right? Year after year, right? The Dolphin fan base gets a little excited. They think they're going to do it, and then they don't, and they come up way short. Look at last season, right? Look how last season went. Dolphin fans were loving life early on, but it's how you finish, right? And they finished pretty poorly. They barely got into the playoffs at 9 wins, while the Buffalo Bills finished with 13, and the Buffalo Bills had way more adversity to go through during that season. Way more. It wasn't even close. So let's see what the Dolphins can do this season, going into year 2 of Mike McDaniel. Now, Colin made a good point there. Offensive coordinator Mike McDaniel over defensive coordinator Sean McDermott. And I honestly, I get it. I would prefer an offensive-minded head coach, but I love our coach, no doubt about it. Now, I am on record saying that this is my final year. If he doesn't get us to at least a Super Bowl, that we got to really think about what we're going to do here moving forward, because this is year 7 under Sean McDermott, and he is now in control of the defense. He's defensive play caller. So he's serving double duty, and the defense is going to lie on him, right? So if he fails at the defensive coordinator position, head play caller, it's going to be a problem, big problem, because Leslie Frazier, for as much as people didn't really mind, like him as much, he still had this defense as a top 10 defense every single season while he was here. So McDermott needs to at least have this defense in the top 10, I would say top 5. And it's important when we get to the playoffs that this defense shows out, right? It doesn't crumble like it has with Frazier in the past. McDermott needs to prove that he can take this defense to another level, right? With him calling the plays. But let's be real here. And by the way, if you want to talk about the Patriots are going to finish last. Let's be real. Mac Jones is not the answer there. The Patriots know that. He is a system quarterback. That's not going to win you games. That's not going to win you a Super Bowl. It's not going to win the AFC East. They need to figure out what they're going to do with their quarterback situation moving forward. But I just think they just don't have enough arsenal to get past the Jets or the Dolphins, and clearly not the Bills. So, listen, if I'm a Dolphin fan, if I'm a Jets fan, yes, you could be excited for this upcoming season, no doubt. One of those teams are going to make the playoffs, in my opinion, no doubt. It's going to be a race for second place. But until listen, we talked about this year after year after year when the Patriots were kings of the AFC East. That this is our year. And I'm talking about the Jets fans. I'm talking about the Dolphins, the Bills. We all were trying to chase the Patriots, and the Patriots year after year after year showed that they are still kings of the AFC East while we were still trying to play catch up. And I feel like that's right now what the Jets and the Dolphins are trying to do with the Bills. And the Bills have won the AFC East 3 years in a row. And by the way, we have also gotten better in the offseason. A lot of these national sports media guys are really overlooking what the Buffalo Bills did in the offseason. They added a ton of good depth, not just older veteran depth that's not going to contribute to anything. They got some really good players in Buffalo this offseason on good deals. Poona Ford, Leonard Floyd, Taylor Rapp. The list, McGovern, Edwards, right? The list goes on and on in free agency, who they get picked up. A lot of key guys that can help out on this defense and offense. And then you talk about the draft. We went ahead and got Dalton Kincaid, right, who's probably one of the best pass catchers in the draft, coming out of the draft. You also picked up Osiris Torrance, who was the best guard coming out in the draft. So listen, the Buffalo Bills addressed a lot of needs and a lot of depth that a lot of these national sports media people are just way overlooking, right? They're looking at the big splash moves like, oh, Jalen Ramsey, right? Oh, Aaron Rodgers. But you're not looking at what the Bills added, right? You're skipping that. And this, I get it. That's their job or their whatever, their bait. They just want you to, and it's funny too, by the way, when you guys watch during how a season goes, they all change their mind at some point. They all ride a team's coattails for a little bit, then they jump off, then they get on to another team, right? So, for speaking of Colin, he always gave the Bills credit for the front office, for the coaching staff, and now all of a sudden the coaching staff's no good, right? That Mike McDaniel's better, and the fact that he said Mike McDaniel outcoached Sean McDermott in 3 games last year, no, that's nonsense. That did not happen. If you go back and watch week 3, that game was very competitive. There's no out-coaching there. If you out-coached them, the Dolphins would have blew us out of the water, right? That's not what happened. That game was very competitive in Miami, right? Miami was smart. They put the visitors on the hottest side of the field, so they're at an advantage, right? And it was a back and forth game. And listen, that's how football works sometimes, right? And the Dolphins wound up winning that game. Could have McDermott coached a better game? Sure. But you can go back and could have McDaniel coached a better game? Sure, of course, right? It was a very close game. I don't think one coach outperformed the other coach, that crazy, right? Then you go into the later part of the season. The Buffalo Bills wound up winning at home. And then the Buffalo Bills wound up winning in a playoff game against the Miami Dolphins. So really, the Buffalo Bills were 2-1 against the Miami Dolphins last year. And they were good. Listen, they were close games. They were good games, no doubt about it, right? All those games were good games. But the Miami Dolphins have a good roster. I don't think that was McDaniel out coaching McDermott at all. These are just 2 heavyweights going at it. But the truth of the matter is, whoever has the raised hand at the end of the bout is the winner. I don't care about what you're talking about there, about who outcoached you. Nobody cares about that. It's about who won, who moved on, right? And the Dolphins got sent home packing. Okay? That's the truth of the matter. And the truth of the matter is the Buffalo Bills have won the AFC East 3 straight times. And the truth of the matter is every single year that the sports media wants to pick another team like the Jets or the Dolphins, the Patriots, the Bills wind up always showing in the later part of the season, they are still dominant in the AFC East, while the other teams aren't. The other teams tend to fall down at the end of the stretch, right? They tend to break apart, things start to happen. Their confidence is here, so the Buffalo Bills, let me tell you, man, they got an interesting season coming up. And I'm super excited for this team. I'm super excited to see Sean McDermott, calling the defensive plays. I'm super excited for Ken Dorsey's second year out as offensive coordinator because he's getting a lot of heat from the Bills Mafia, a lot of heat from really sports media in general. And I want to see him prove everybody wrong and get this offense looking like how he wants. And by the way, for everyone that dogs on him, we were the second-ranked offense in the NFL behind the Chiefs, the Super Bowl winning Chiefs. We were second in scoring. Was it perfect? No. Could have been better? Of course. But did you also see the players that we had on offense, the offensive line? Did you guys even see what was going on? No, because you only want to point at one guy, and it has to be his fault because that's just the way it goes. And that's not right. And I feel like this offseason, with the additions of the offensive line, the depth that we added, young depth, by the way, and then the receiving core that we added, we got some speed, right? We got some taller receivers. We got guys coming back healthy as like Gabe Davis, right? You got second-year guy in Khalil Shakir. You got Trent Sherfield, who's coming off a good season with the Dolphins. right? You got Hardy, who could be electric. You got James Cook coming in his second season. There's a lot to be excited for in this offense. And by the way, Dalton Kincaid, Dawson Knox, who's going to be, I think, a big part of this offense now that we have got better blocking. So I guarantee you, I almost can promise you that this offense is going to be more exciting. And I really feel like Ken Dorsey is going to be more creative, because I heard that a lot, that he wasn't creative enough. You are going to see a more creative side from Ken Dorsey now that he has a full arsenal. Not guys that he has to go call on the phone or have Bean call on the phone, players that are retired. Hey, we need help at receiver. Can you come help us, John Brown? Hey, Cole, I know you're retired, but our wide receivers aren't doing the job. Can you come out of retirement and help us out? Like, I don't see that happening this season, right? I don't. At least I hope not. I hope these receivers step up. So that's exciting. Then you got the defense. You got Trey White coming back healthy, 100%. Y'all remember how he was last year coming off the ACL, right? Y'all expected him back week 1. I told you he wasn't. He came back late in the season. He still wasn't right. Maybe he rushed back to get back, right? Just to get on the field. But now he has training camp, right? Preseason. He had the OTAs, the minicamp, training camp now, preseason. You're going to see a much better Trey White. Then you got Micah Hyde returning. Remember, Micah Hyde went out week 2. And we re-signed Jordan Poyer. So they got the best safety duo in the NFL. Coming back healthy, 100%. Don't forget, Jordan Poyer was also injured all season. But he played because he's a tough dude. But both those guys are coming back 100% healthy. Then you got Kyer Elam, year 2. He's going to be even better. Christian Benford, Taylor Rapp, Leonard Floyd, who's averaged 9 sacks in the last 3 seasons. Von Miller's coming back some point in the season. I'm guessing week 5 probably. Gregory Rousseau, who had 8 sacks last year. Right? I think he's going to have a 10-plus sack season this year. He's only getting better. Ed Oliver, who just got paid, is getting better. Poona Ford, excellent pickup. Depth. Right? Daquan Jones, who nobody talks about, was an absolute dog on the line last year. Right? Jordan Phillips, bringing him back. Shaq Lawson, he got brought back. There's some serious defense. We got a real electric defense. And then you got Sean McDermott, who is a very aggressive defensive play caller. Look at his years in Carolina. Super aggressive. Learn from Jim Johnson in Philadelphia. That's how he ran his defense. Super aggressive. It's not like Frazier. Frazier was not super aggressive. We have the defense to do it now. Matter of fact, I know we run a 4-3, but you might see some 3-4s this year. With Leonard Floyd, Von Miller on the field at the same time. I'm telling you guys. And that's what I'm saying. National media sleeping on this. They don't talk about what I just talked about. They don't want to talk about it. They only want to talk about the big time names. Jalen Ramsey. Aaron Rodgers. You all forgot about Josh Allen? The best quarterback in the division? A top 3 quarterback in the NFL? Y'all forgot all of a sudden all about Josh Allen, what he could do? What he could do against defenses? It's just funny to me. It really is funny to me how the media just all of a sudden just goes on to the next team. And yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait because at the end of the year, once again, and listen, it's not my style to talk trash or I told you so, I told you so. But I think this year at the end of the season, I definitely will be telling everybody, I try to tell you that the Buffalo Bills are still AFC East kings until somebody can prove otherwise. And I don't think that's going to happen this year. I don't think they did enough to dethrone the champs of the East. And listen, and I'll say it again. The Dolphins, the Jets, and the Patriots have their mind set on the Buffalo Bills in the AFC East, right? The Buffalo Bills have their mind set on a Super Bowl, man. We know we can win the East. That's not a problem. Our problem is getting to the AFC Championship, winning it, and going to a Super Bowl. So we have a Super Bowl in mind. You guys have us in mind because you know you have to dethrone us. And then it's easier said than done. And we've proven this. And we'll prove it again this year. So anyways, man, listen, guys, Bills Mafia, I love you. And comment below. Let me know what you think, man. As always, go Bills. I'm out of here. Peace.
And look at him go! He could go all the way! Touchdown! Touchdown! Touchdown!
The Bills make me wanna shout. Kick your heels up and shout. Throw your hands up and shout. Throw your head back and shout. Come on now, the Bills are making it happen now. Stand up now, come on and shout. Yeah, 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 yeah. Hey, 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 hey. Let's go, Buffalo.